I've thrown so many interceptions in my first 2 seasons, but all of that has to change if I'm going to make it to the NFL. I've gotten myself up to an 89 overall to start my junior year, and I have 3 goals for this video as I play through my entire season. The first one is getting myself into the Heisman watch, the second one is throw less than 10 picks all year, and the last one's going to be the most difficult to achieve, but since I took 69 sacks last season, it's take less than 50 this year. If I fail any of those 3 goals, I'll be giving away some college merch like this to a random commenter, and it can be any team, it doesn't have to be Kentucky, but for the purpose of this video, we do need to get Kentucky into the playoffs. It's not out of reach since we're projected to be the 6th best team in the SEC, and right now our conference schedule doesn't look too terrible besides this 3-game stretch, but we also have Wake Forest on the road for whatever reason. That could be difficult, but leading up to it, we're just going to continue to train to hopefully get some more skill points, and I always like to start my day with a quick practice. I've actually gotten better at this drill, so I'm excited to see what my score is going to be, and I've thrown so many bullseyes already that I think my multiplyer's gone up a ton. It's really not that difficult, you just got to get in front of the target, and I don't know why I struggled with this in previous videos. With time ticking down though, I'm going to need a couple more good throws, and that puts us at gold. So I've finally done it. I've had success during practice and Road to Glory. I'm setting the tone for the year, and even my offensive coordinator wants to give me a challenge without turning the ball over or taking many sacks. So you can see that a lot has to change from last season. Before my first game though, I have to drive my defensive tackle to this meet and greet. I really don't want to do it, but I need to be a good teammate, and I should also be focusing on my NIL value. I've never worried about it before, but I'm starting to gain a lot more followers, and I have 6 skill points to spend, so I should probably upgrade elusiveness, but I kind of want to upgrade quickness and save up for 9. We have to get faster, and our first game's going to be against Akron, so here we go. It is time to find out if I'm improving this year or I'm just going to be as bad as my sophomore season. One thing that might hold me back is we did lose our star wide receiver Barian Brown to the NFL, so I'm going to have to find some new targets to feed, and I think our number 1 wide receiver just dropped the ball. It might not be looking great, but we do have Jamarian Wilcox back at least, and he was solid on the ground for us last year, just not on that play, but if he makes the catch here, we're going to have a first. We really needed that, and I think we got a new offensive coordinator because our playbook has changed, so I'm just hoping that that doesn't hurt us, and these option routes are going to be money. If I'm going to avoid taking a lot of sacks and throwing a lot of picks, I have to take a lot of checkdowns, but that all goes out the window the second that I start to get impatient, and comeback routes are also pretty good. I feel like this has been a really good first drive, and our corner route's open, but I threw it a second too late, so the fact that we still held on for a touchdown right there is incredible. We also might have a chance to burn them deep, so this is our play call. They've come out pressing our wide receivers, and we don't have any Barian Browns on this team, but I'm hoping we can still dust them, and we don't. That is actually really concerning. If we're not outrunning players on Akron, we're going to struggle in the SEC. And I'm afraid what I might have to go back to a lot is these angle routes and comeback routes on the sidelines. We're going to feed our halfback. That is really the main goal. But even with 99 overall accuracy, I'm missing a lot of throws. So Heisman could be setting us up for failure. On 3rd and short, it's going to be dropped. But we made the field goal, which is huge. Last season, we couldn't hit a field goal to save our lives. So maybe we got a better kicker. I'm still very concerned about the fact that we're not dusting wide receivers deep though. I mean, we're going to have to take these crossing routes instead, and that's just not as fun. Barian Brown was literally a cheat code. Now I'm going to use the read option, but I can't fumble. I feel like I'm due to take a sack or fumble at some point though, maybe even an interception, because we all know I can't keep this up forever. I'm going to go back to my roots, and I just have to throw it away. We got to pick 6 though, so this game against Akron's pretty much over already. That's exciting to know, and that leaves me with not much pressure throughout the rest of this game, so I'm just going to do what I do best and play it very safe. We still haven't taken a single sack, and I'm just going to take our slant route here because I feel like we should be able to dust those Akron cornerbacks, and our wide receiver is going to take it all the way. I have to learn some of my teammates' new names though, like Anthony Brown-Stevens, Brandon White, and Easton Messer, because if I'm going to be thrown to these teammates all season, I should be able to know them on a first name basis, but anytime we get a big lead, I'm just going to cut to the end. I mean, we're playing the entire season in this video. Maybe I'll show some highlights whenever they happen, but I have to be talking whenever they do happen because all my videos are live com, and that was almost intercepted. Well, ever since that moment, we've just been running out the rest of the clock against them, and I got kind of bored of that, so I hurried it up and started passing the ball, but it wouldn't lead to anything. I didn't want to force a pick, and I'm pretty happy with how my stat line turned out. Not only did I not throw a pick, but I didn't take a single sack either, and I even took home the Player of the Game award. That made my offensive coordinator really happy with me, but you have to remember, this is just a warm-up. We were playing a MAC school, and now we're about to start facing some real opponents. Starting out with Wake Forest, my offensive coordinator wants me to complete 60% of my third downs. And this wellness center wanted to offer me an NIL deal that would cost me 3 energy a week. That's not a good one, and I can reduct wear and tear points on my own, so I'm going to decline this deal. We had to save up our energy to start pouring it into academics because I'm unprepared for my tests. And I just remembered that I could buy abilities with skill points, but I don't need any of these options that are available for my archetype. The ones for improviser don't seem to be that good, and I think it's so much more important that I get my speed up. But I also had to check the speed of some of my wide receivers, and apparently Brandon White has 98. We should be able to bomb defenses over the top to him. I wish I could adjust the depth chart to put him on the outside, but it doesn't let me. So that kind of stinks, but maybe we'll still be able to pull something off against Wake Forest. Even though it's between 2 top 16 programs, it's not the game of the week, and this has to be the first time that the Demon Deacons have ever been relevant in my videos. Because they're one of the many colleges in North Carolina, I just don't know many fans that root for them. And I know I've said in previous videos that I don't believe Wake Forest fans exist, but they seem to fill out the stadium. I'm hoping all my previous disrespect doesn't come back to bite me. We're gonna try to go over the top already. I mean, they were pressing Brandon White out of the slot, and look at that, he dropped the football. And then we handed it off to get held to a 3 and out, so by the next time we have the football, we're just lucky that they didn't score on their drive. We might be starting to get back into a rhythm though. That is what you want to see. And I also really like this zig route from wide receivers, but it could have gotten picked. 3rd and short. Will we be able to pick it up? No, we're going to take a sack. And that's the first one of the game with many to come probably. I told you all, facing off against a better team would ruin my stats. And because we're on the road, I can't audible or anything. They're not going through, so we just have to hope that the standard plays are going to do enough for us. On 3rd and 7, if I have enough time, what I wanted to do was take it deep, but we're going to be smart about it, pick up the first. And if this is man-to-man coverage, we're going to have Brandon White on a back shoulder throw, but it's cover 3, so I'm just going to have to laser it in there, and he should not catch that ball. That is unfortunate. I was hoping to get a touchdown at least out of that play, but instead we've already reached the end of the first quarter. All right, on 3rd and 5, I'm going to wait for our tight end to eventually get open, or maybe I'm going to scramble. That seems to be the smarter move. But now we have an option to pass the ball out of an RPO, and I didn't want to risk it. These play calls are actually horrendous. I can't do anything with them besides hand it off. And I might just have to accept settling for 3 here unless we can get closer. They're taking me off the field. We're actually kicking. But you know what? Our defense held it down for us, so we're actually playing really well. And if I had more speed, I could have gotten around this corner. I still did. I also made a man miss, but I've dropped the football, and please pick it up. We did a little bit too much there, but it ended up being just fine. And Brandon White has cooked that cornerback where I placed it perfectly. Maybe it was the safety, whatever. Either way, we have a touchdown. And just knowing that I have somebody as quick as him out there on the field makes my life 10 times easier. I mean, he keeps on dusting them. I can't challenge the play though. I feel like he got a foot in. And how on earth is this not considered a catch? Wait, the reason I couldn't challenge it is because the refs are reviewing it themselves. And there we go. They've done us right, putting us on the 39-yard line, but I'm about to throw an interception. I got panicky. I don't know what I was thinking right there. I was worried I was about to take a sack. That is so sad. I knew exactly what was happening before the play even finished. But we've gotten this route again, the one that we bombed them the first time on, and look at that. We've done it again. Brandon White is gone. I've also gotten the first turnover of the season out of the way to the point where I am not worried about throwing a pick anymore. I don't have to keep the streak going. And I'm serious when I say this. If our defense can continue to play this well, we're going to have a shot to make some real noise once we get to the playoffs. We still haven't played an SEC school, so that's the one thing that could be a little bit different. But Wake Forest is ranked very highly, and on 3rd down, yeah, we're going to just pick it up. Anthony Brown Stevens is amazing for that. I honestly thought it wasn't going to work, but we're still missing the shortest passes, and I don't get why. There was a point where I switched up the passing meter, and I thought it helped us out a little bit, but I've kind of gotten used to this one again, and if I'm going to take a sack here, I need to make sure I just step up so it's not for a lot of yards. No, we fumbled the ball away. Well, that's one way to avoid a turnover if we keep on picking up my fumbles, but I can only try to slide so many times. I feel like this one is pretty much over, but if we pick up this 3rd and 1, that would definitely seal it. And we didn't, which means they had a chance to drive down the field and score a touchdown. Until this play, coaches just had me handing the ball off on pretty much everything, but I'm going to make sure that we pick up the first. And you can see that I'm starting to take a lot of wear and tear damage, but it's going to be worth it in the end if we beat a top 5 team. We're basically just 2 first downs away from it being completely over though. And it's completely out of my hands. I just have to trust Jamarian Wilcox, who runs backwards. Wake Forest would even drive down the field and score, but we recovered the onside kick, so the game's over. And not being able to control that stuff is so scary at the end of these matchups. I'm just glad that we've stayed undefeated. Stat-wise, I'm not too happy with my performance considering we had 1 interception and 2 fumbles, but sometimes you just have to take the win. Even my coordinator was complaining about us not being as efficient on 3rd downs, but then he's like, oh wait, I'm being way too picky, good win. And I feel like this is a much deserved bye week. It's going to give me a chance to repair all of my health and then also go over to academics and start spending a lot more energy. I'm prepared for the test too. 2, which should have been plenty enough already, but Kevin wants to send me a copy of last year's answers, and I don't want to risk it. Those statistics exams from someone that was a statistics major in college are very difficult. So we're not going to use the answers, we're going to study ourselves, and my GPA's gone up because of it. The real thing that matters though is getting us to 9 skill points. Right now we're at 8, so we have a little bit more to go. And we've moved up to number 7 in the polls off of just 2 results. I'm not in the Heisman watch though, so I do need to step up how I'm playing. And South Alabama is the last easy opponent on our schedule before the rest of these matchups are just brutal. I'll take it though. All we have to do is make sure we don't throw an interception in this game. And we've brought out the black jerseys with the chrome helmets for this one. First play of the game, I kind of want to test what type of coverage they're going to run for a majority of it. It looks like it will be man-to-man. And this time I'm going to block one more person just in case they go back to it because we should have had a touchdown. I know what I'm seeing and eventually we will go back to it, but for now we have to pick up a first. And eventually we would get the ball back. Now we have burnt them deep again, but that's a risk that I'm taking trying to go with passes like that because we're not going to have much time. I can max protect all that I want, and I did on this play because I feel like Brandon White should have cooked that corner a little bit better than he did. It's still going to be a touchdown, but man, I've been waiting on that moment since the game started, and we had like 5 opportunities for it. I don't think it's going to work as well whenever we're facing off against SEC schools, especially since the computer does adapt, but just that threat is going to make them a little bit more cautious. It also wouldn't be a Bordeaux video without some jet touch passes, so let's get it to our 98 speedster, and he could be gone to the crib just off of that. What a play. I'm pretty sure Brandon White starts on these rosters as like a 60 overall, but his speed makes him almost unstoppable, and I'm trucking into the end zone. I was going to go in there either way. I couldn't risk not getting in, and if I fumbled, so be it. In the future, when my speed gets up, I'm hoping I can become more of a rushing quarterback. But for now, I just need to stay tall in the pocket, scramble a little bit to find an open receiver, or take off. We're going to be a running quarterback right now. I actually feel like I have improved a lot throughout this road to glory, but flags like that are going to ruin this possession, and that is so unfortunate. They also went with man-to-man coverage right here, so we just needed our receivers to route those guys up, and they're about to play that with zones. We're only up by 7, so it's not like we're in a great position in this game, and we couldn't even get a halfback screen out. They would also score off of their next play, which means we're struggling versus South Alabama of all teams, and Brandon White is breaking a tackle. I knew if I dumped it off to him for 5 yards, he could make something happen there. Now it's Jamarian Wilcox's turn to do the same thing, and he's our running back, so I expected him to do a little bit more there. I'm taking a sack though, making it 2nd and 13, where the drag is always the smart move, except they had a zone there. 3rd and 12, man-to-man coverage with a little bit of zones as well. I am scrambling for the first down. I saw the open space. I'm spamming slide, and can you imagine what that's going to look like whenever we actually have our speed upgraded? It's going to be so much easier to make plays. Brandon White saves us again there, and with that man-to-man coverage, they actually clamped us. But my bigger concern right now is my current wear and tear, and we have him again. Please don't get over to that ball. They've picked us off. Oh gosh. I thought I was about to have to make a tackle on him. He stepped out of bounds. And that turnover is definitely my fault for holding on to the passing meter for too long. I wanted to have a bullet pass there, but a red throw really hurt us, and our slant is open. The zones didn't know how to stick with Messer. He might actually take this all the way. He's not even the fastest. Never mind, that 88 speed started to show there, but we're going to have Jamarian Wilcox, and if he can outrun this defender, we're going to have another touchdown. There's still a quarter and a half of football left though, so this game is far from being over. And my wear and tear damage just continues to get worse, which could be a problem going forward. I might be getting hurt. We just have to keep staying calm and collected. Comeback routes normally are money. They just clamped it up there though. That's the first time I've ever thrown an interception on a comeback route, and he's also dusting me. Thank goodness we caught him. I've got 2 turnovers in this game though. It's the first time I've thrown 2 picks in this season, and the wear and tear is only going to keep stacking up. I don't know how I'm going to keep the turnovers, at least the interceptions, in the single digits for the entire year, but we're going to find a way to make it happen. And knowing comeback routes aren't even a guarantee on Heisman has me worried, because there's not much I can go to. The second I throw a pick 6 off of a zig route's when I'm really going to start to get confused. And I think it's all about leverage. We might have Brandon White over the top of the defense because of that. It's not placed the best though, and what a miracle that that defender couldn't get a hand on it. You know what? You take away the turnovers, this is another great performance on my part, and that day will eventually come. I'm still figuring out how to read defenses. I'm actually really excited to see how far I can take this Kentucky team, and if they bite on Wilcox with this read option, I could actually be gone with my speed, and nope, there's a lot of defenders swarming. I will say though, our new offensive coordinator really knows what I love to run with all these jet touch passes. I mean, it's like every drive we have at least one. And I'm just trying to throw for one more touchdown to help out my stats before the end of this game, which I just did. It's the star wide receiver, Brandon White, and I need some rest. Coach better not put me back out there. Well, once again, our defense collapsed in the end, but I'd given us just a large enough lead to where we'd still win, and I might have to spend all 5 of my energy just on recovering my body. This is crazy. I should also point out that if I'm going to meet all 3 of my goals in this video, I can only throw 6 more interceptions. And I keep checking if I'm in the running for the Heisman Trophy, but I haven't seen my name yet. We're ready to start SEC play though. We're going in as the 4th best team, and South Carolina's going to have to come to Kroger Field. I'm also going to upgrade our quickness just so we're a little bit faster. That did not jump our speed up by much, but our acceleration went up to an 88, so I'm hoping I can use that to avoid sacks. But before we continue my Road to Glory career, a word from Home Field, today's video sponsor. I am so excited to be talking about Home Field for a sponsor, because if you've ever seen me wearing anything college related in a rebuild, it's probably from them. If you head over to their website, you'd see that there's a large selection of schools to choose from, and they have so many colleges that even my alma mater, Northern Kentucky, is on here. This Kentucky jacket that I'm wearing in this video is also from Home Field, and whenever I decided my top 5 schools for my first rebuild in college football 25, all those hats were from them as well. If you're wondering how many schools they have vintage apparel for, it's over 180 colleges. And that's probably the coolest part about Home Field. They use a bunch of vintage logos that make their clothes stand out, they're unique, and you get a ton of new designs that you're probably not going to find anywhere else. They dig into your school's history to unearth unique logos, find iconic mascots and moments, and just put it all on merch that you can get for your school. I'm just hoping this is the first of many sponsors to come with Home Field. I really wanted to work with them. And if you want to support your school and the channel at the same time, if you use code CFB15, you'll get 15% off your first order whenever you order from Home Field. Just click the first link in my description, and again, they got my approval. Their stuff's super comfy. They have sick logo designs. And now it's time for us to get back to the rest of my Road to Glory career. Against a team like the Gamecocks, I'm going to be very curious whether or not we can take it deep versus them to Brandon White. We couldn't there, but I'm definitely going to be looking for it, and I feel like all those motions made their defense confused, so we might have it on this play, and we do. There we go. That's going to help out my stats a lot, and also having him on these jet touch passes should as well, but his ball carrier vision could be very low, and I'm about to take a sack. Well, things look great. Very quickly, it's become 3rd and 20 though, and I've thrown it out of bounds, so I'm starting to consider changing the passing meter again. I'm kind of sick of revamped passing. I want to go back to the placement and accuracy I was using, but I won't be throwing the ball here. We've started this drive on the 3-yard line. All right, now we have to make sure that we get it out pretty quick. Our blocking has been so solid though, and that is such a weird meter now. I thought we were about to send it deep versus the defense like we've been doing, and that's dropped too. But I think with placement and accuracy, it just gets over there a little bit quicker, and the RPO has worked wonders for us. Keep on going, Anthony. I think he's about to take it all the way. Brown Stevens did get caught, but there we go. That's what we wanted to see, and we're very close. If this is man-to-man coverage, we're going to have a touchdown. If it's zone, I'm going to step up and scramble. And I'm very scared to attempt another deep ball after that last one, so we might not do that again. I just know that this passing meter allows us to throw bullet passes a bit more accurately, and it gets there quicker too, but the problem with that is if we can't lob up balls, then we're in trouble. It's also crazy watching our tight ends just get completely boxed up on corner routes most of the time, but we finally had one work in our favor and we needed it. Now they're pressing us, and I feel like White could be gone here, but they've stuck with him, so I'm gonna have to make a play, and let's just throw it out. Attempt number 2. If this is a cover 1, we're gonna be just fine. If not, we're gonna have our comeback route. And they are getting off of the line so quick versus us, but I just stiff armed someone. We gave them too much time to score before the half though, and I can't risk throwing that deep. I really wanted to. We might have actually had Brandon White. Now I'm trying to make a play on the run, and I want us to get into field goal range, but I'm also worried that I'm going to turn the ball over to where we won't be able to. There's a flag on the play. Go ahead. I know it was an illegal forward pass, and it looks like we're going into this half only up by 4. They'd also come out and score, which is going to put us in a bad position to start the 3rd quarter. And what are some of these routes on these plays? I mean, it's just not good. We're dropping about everything. My completion percentage is getting decimated, and I'm going to have to use a playmaker here, but it wasn't lofted. That's the one issue with this passing meter. I need to be able to place balls far in the air. And if this is man-to-man coverage, you're about to see exactly what I'm talking about. It is zone though, and I'm taking a sack. This should be our chance to throw a laser up the seam though, and we still dropped it. So South Carolina's going to score again. We're down by 10, and I have no time. This is exactly what I expected once SEC play started, but we got that throw out, and you know that Jamarian Wilcox is going to cook whoever number 15 is. He is a beast. but he is not fast enough to stop him short here. Okay, maybe he was, and that's actually really frustrating because now I'm not getting a touchdown, but that shouldn't be important. We're just going to hand it off and go in. This is crazy. The computer on Heisman's going to drive me nuts, but eventually things did work out for us, and we have a touchdown right here. I placed it, but the safety got back to it. That was a touch pass, and it did float, so I guess I don't understand how this throw meter works, but I'll take it. I want to lob the ball like that, and Brandon White just get in. He's making my life 10 times harder, and we're going to have him right here, thank goodness, because once you're at that part of the field, scoring's very hard. South Carolina responded back, though, leaving us with just a minute left in this game against them, and we have to at least get into field goal range if we want to send this into another period. We're going to have the cover 3 beater right there, though. Our tight end holds on to it. Okay, here we go. Now they're running man-to-man coverage. That C route should have gotten open, and we can't get stopped now. Come on, I need to not take a sack here. Just throw the ball away. Oh no, I've definitely choked it. I wanted to roll out and take the drag or something. We're gonna have to kick 3, and our kicker made it, plus they would start their first overtime drive only getting a field goal, so we need a touchdown to win again. I've been trying to adjust the offensive line to like slide to roll out, but it's not working, and some of these throws are driving me absolutely insane. I didn't even have a chance to get that pass away, and now we have the ball back for another drive where running the ball only gets us a few. I appreciate that coach wants me to throw it, but I'm not sure I trust our guys to make the catches or me to make the right pass. And here we go. I know I had our tight end, but I'm going to be patient, and we're going to get in with the running back. The 2-point conversion is the tough one, though. They had us running a bunch of zones out there, and I threw it late. We've been bailed out, though, because South Carolina didn't get the first 2-point conversion. They got their second one in this third period, and it's an RPO. That's the play call here that they were prepared for. We couldn't have handed it off. There was no shot we were going to actually run it in. And some of those play calls there at the end really frustrate me. We've gotten another NIL offer, though, and they're saying my teammates can eat free for commercials. We're declining that deal. I need cash, and now I have to go on the road to 91 overall Alabama. So more player upgrades would probably be cool, but we have a long way to go, and I have to start recovering my body. That last loss really stings, but if we can bounce back against Alabama on the road, I'm going to feel a lot better. First snap of the game is just going to be a little bit of a run to feel out their D, and it's coming pretty hard, so we might have to throw the ball more than I was hoping to. I wanted to actually run quite a bit, and now we're stuck on a 3rd and 3. We're going to hope the motion messes them up, though. It did. We have an open receiver on that right side of the field, and he almost got back to stop it. These Alabama defenders are no joke, but with a bullet pass, we have a touchdown anyway, and this might be the best way that I've opened a game all year. Even with that incredible start, we can put absolutely no hot routes out there on the field, so the home field advantage is certainly kicking in, and that's a great throw. We just have to keep being patient, take whatever the defense gives us, like right there. And what do you even do with these 3 play calls? I guess we're going with the quarterback run. This at least puts the ball in my hands, but I got stopped, and the camera angle certainly didn't help. The Crimson Tide are only getting 3, though, so we still have a lead, and the motion messed them up the last time, so I'm hoping it does again, but it doesn't seem like it has. I mean, they are literally just screaming in. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I had to get that out so quick, and I threw it completely blind, hoping it would be a decent arm punt if they intercepted it. We are going to step up in the pocket on this one, though, to take the sack. So for all of you all that just say, oh, just step up in the pocket, it doesn't work, but that throw should have. We're very fortunate, though. Our defense has stopped Alabama again, and I had enough time to float this ball over to Brandon White. Please make the catch. That would have been exactly what we needed in that situation. And now I have to resort to taking these drag routes and hoping that we pick up a lot of yards after the catch. No lead is safe either, so I'm not happy with how the scores look and approach in halftime, but with a little bit of playmakering, I'm able to scramble for a lot of yards, and that's some good blocking. It took a while, but we finally got it out of one of our wide receivers, and you know that we have the faster matchup there, so we're going to take that. If anybody's keeping up with Brandon White in a foot race, they need to be drug tested immediately, and with this playmaker, I could have taken it, but we're scrambling in instead. Look at me getting a little loose on the ground. We need to upgrade my speed a lot more. And why did I even put in all that effort to get points before the end of the half if they were just going to get 7? I wanted to try to throw it up too, but there's no purpose. I'm just going to throw an interception. And pulling away from Alabama is never going to be easy. We have gotten the ball around midfield, though. That is a very good sign of what's to come. Until I took a sack. I'm not sure what I was thinking there, but we're able to pick up another 10 if we catch the ball. I just don't know what to do on a 3rd and long. I mean, the odds of converting it are so low. And shout out to our defense, actually. They've been doing a fantastic job. I'm also going to have an open receiver, but I needed half a second longer, and on 3rd and long, I'm going to use my legs because the routes out there weren't weren't any good, but I was sliding and still fumbled it away. That has got to be a penalty. That's a late hit on the quarterback. I was going down. I was clearly giving myself up. We're getting a big run with the backup running back though. And it's not like I was going to pull a Kenny Pickett with a fake slide. I don't want to die on those plays, and now I'm going in with my legs. Why do they have to make it so hard to get into the end zone? That was a second too late. And let's see what we're running on 3rd and goal. I'm not sure what it was. Everything was shaking, but it was a jet touch pass. Alabama's going to be able to tie it up with a touchdown, but they didn't, and I honestly feel so lucky for that, except they're about to get a sack here, and how did I avoid it? Now I need to make sure we get this one out a little bit quicker, clearly, and I don't want to run this inside zone. I have a feeling it's going to get stuffed, so we're taking it to the end of the quarter. A big 3rd down play with an RPO involved. I could make this read and throw the slant, but that's risky, and I think it might have been open. Now we're going to use another RPO since they would score a touchdown, putting us in a spot where it's 17 all, and you know what? We're going to playmaker our running back up the field or not. We're not. And all we have to do is get into field goal range for the win. That is simply it. That has got to be PI of some sort right there. I'm not sure what, but I'm not happy about it. And the comeback route has worked wonders. Anthony is going to use his speed to get around the defense, and I think he is gone to the crib. We might actually beat the Crimson Tide. They've come out pressing. They're expecting a run here, I would assume. And they are. We're going to have Brandon White deep as long as he catches it, and he does. Now, the real question is whether or not I get greedy. And a touchdown would be nice, but we cannot afford to blow this game. I might try to scramble on 3rd and goal, or we're going to have the drag, but I think he's going to be short. No, he dove in. What a play. I was not expecting that. But I think it's safe to say my Heisman run's been saved. Our defense got another stop. This feels so good after what happened against South Carolina. And I won player of the game, but the one issue I'm still having is my completion percentage is way too low. Life's only getting harder as well because we're about to face number 2 Texas A&M. And even though it's at home, I'm not ready for another tough matchup. I've also forgotten about studying, so I have to spend all of my energy making sure I'm prepared. And we're at 3 skill points, so I feel like we're starting to get them quicker, but what I might need to start improving is some of the change of direction and agility stats instead of speed. Those might help us more in the long run, and it looks like we're going to have to win the rest of our conference games if we want to make the SEC championship. So I'm keeping that in mind, but my main goal to get onto the Heisman watch list still isn't happening. It's the next day now, and we're playing in the game of the week, but I'm going in raw, and that's never a good idea. This is my first college football 25 game of the day, and it always takes me a little bit to get into a rhythm, so I'm not making too many mistakes, but maybe here we can have a nice scrambling play, and I should have fumbled. That was actually such a terrible setup for us. I don't know what I was thinking, but the important thing is we continue to move it down the field, and I want to take that comeback route, which is held on to. I was not expecting that to work. I actually thought we were in a lot of trouble, and these sacks are brutal. I held on to the ball a lot in the last episode so I could avoid taking sacks, but I'm not sure if it's better to take the sack or throw the pick. Once you get to like a 3rd and 18, the drive's pretty much over either way, and that was some great blocking. I'm trying to slide though, and the fact that we're still moving this down the field is really impressive. I felt like I had to step up again. I don't trust throwing the ball in the red zone. I feel like by the time I get it out, it's just going to go straight to the other team, and that was the worst slant route I've ever seen. I was just patiently waiting on our boy to beat him, but he didn't, and I guess that should be expected when you're facing the number 2 team in the country. Still though, all these mistakes are making it very hard to make the Heisman race until we have Brandon White. Brandon White is completely gone, and thank goodness for him because without him we'd be atrocious. Something about him makes the other team's coverage bust, and we're going to attempt to do it again. I mean, I placed that ball to the right side so he could get under it, and he's going to also break a tackle. There's another tutty. I feel so fortunate to have him on our team, but the Aggies keep on scoring and then coming out running this press coverage. There is zero shot we do it to them 3 times in a row, and we're not going to. I just need to slide. That should be a penalty right there though. I was clearly giving myself up, and they still hit me twice, and I'm just thankful that this one's not taking place at Kyle Field, or else we would definitely not have any refs on our side. That playmaker did not work well. As long as we get 1 or 2 calls to go our way, I won't even complain about it. I'm the one scrambling and making everything happen though, and we're not going to talk about what just happened there. I couldn't tell you how we just jumped 20 feet in there. I keep saying that I need to slide, but when it comes to doing it, I never do. And on a 3rd and 6, I'm going to take the out route, but it's going to leave us short of the marker. My coaches pulled me off of the field. We're just taking our 3. But we missed the field goal. Yes, we missed the field goal that I set us up for, and now we're not beating them with the deep route either. I should have known better though. It wasn't Brandon White on the go route, and this playmaker is actually the best thing that I've done throughout this entire day so far. I keep getting a better hang of the feature, and I'm starting to really enjoy it. It's helping out a lot. We're having a really hard time picking up these 3rd downs though. I mean, sometimes the play calls are just really weird. We're lucky that the jet touch pass worked wonders, and that doesn't feel like what normally occurs. Normally, Brandon White just loses some yardage. We're going to be stuck on a third down unless we get the first, which is not great because our field goal kicker missed the last time we were down in this position, and I was just patient. Nobody was out in the flat, and that's perfect. All right, we're now down on the goal line, a chance to go up by 2 possessions, which we do. And of course, you know who it was catching that ball. This game is not over though because they would get a field goal. They're always getting exactly what they need to stay in this, which is why we're going to have to score at least another 3 points. And our rushing attack has gotten us absolutely nowhere, so it's on me to carry us through the air. I did hurry it up for an inside zone just because I thought we could pick it up. But no, that's what's been happening throughout the entire game. And our defense let them tie it up at 21. We're not in a great spot right now. We have to somehow get into field goal range and then make that field goal, which our kicker doesn't seem to be great at. And I might force this into a hot read on third down, which I had to do. That was a risky throw that had to be made in that situation. I didn't feel like I could go with anything else, and we fumbled. We fumbled the ball. Somebody please get to it first. No. They've even picked it up and they're running it to the 45. So I think I just blew that game by not sliding in time. Well, maybe not. We find ourselves in overtime the next time that we're out there on the field. And I'm pretty sure we're about to get held to a 3 and out, but they also kicked a field goal first, and that was almost a great throw. Now we're going to get the ball back again. And this time around, we cannot get held to another field goal. That would not be good. They're not making it easy though. The fact that we keep dropping balls is driving me nuts, and thank you, Brandon White, for getting open. This is so stressful because it's not like the season's on the line, but we do really need to get a win in this game. And I know if we go to a 4th down, our coach is going to force me to take our 3. I mean, what can you even do there? We just got instantly pressured. It's about to happen again. And coach has me throwing this on 4th and goal. I'm going to have to thread the needle in about 0.2 seconds. I might actually have somebody, and please, no! That ball just hit his helmet. And that's going to cause us to lose our 2nd game of the year. I don't think I'm ever going to win a championship in this road to glory. And I don't care that I got straight A's on my midterms. Somehow with back-to-back losses, I've become a fan favorite. And we're still in the playoff hunt, but I don't think we can lose another game. I mean, we already know the SEC championship isn't happening. And becoming a part of the Heisman race probably isn't either. So the least we could do is stay on pace to not throw 10 interceptions. And also sack-wise, how many are we at? 16 of our 50 already. If we somehow don't turn the ball over the rest of the year, those are Heisman numbers. And I almost want to start upgrading my elusiveness instead of our speed down here because that's not going to increase by much, but this could, and that's what I did. We keep getting stuck playing teams that are higher overalls than us too. Oklahoma's a 90. So I'm going to have to carry us, and they're already sending in a blitz. I'm just throwing this up. That's the wrong receiver, but we still make the catch. I thought this was Brandon White. I didn't know it was Anthony Brown-Stevens. So I thought we were just going to burn them deep, but I'll definitely take that. We needed a huge play to get the momentum going to start this game out the right way, and we're going to have a touchdown here if that safety doesn't get over to the ball. That is unfortunate. I definitely saw it coming, but we're still going to have Wilcox in the flat. And if this is man-to-man coverage, our tight end would be wide open, but he wasn't. Normally that wheel route really works versus the defense. We're still getting a touchdown, but we're probably going to need a lot of those because it did not take long for Oklahoma to respond back, and I playmakered here to deliver an absolute dime getting us past midfield. Every so often, I'm able to do something right, but man, this is not a good look on this play. I just threw an interception literally straight to him, and I should have just thrown it away. I don't know what I was thinking, but we're gonna loft up a beautiful ball, and Brandon White's gone. The coverage got busted. That's exactly what we needed there after our mistake. I'm also gonna need our tight end to make a break for a lot bigger of a play here than what we were getting, and I think I've been using playmaker way too many times. I'm about to take a sack as well. Now they have us just running the ball. They don't even want to give me a chance to help us pick up a first, and that's probably a good idea because I'm bound to throw an interception or fumble it straight to the Sooners where they're going to pick it up and score. This game is actually cursed. I'm about to lose my mind. I mean, they are about to get a sack on me. I just have to throw it on the run. And let's see what type of coverage they're going with on the next play. Some deep zones where they almost got an interception. All it takes is 1 or 2 mistakes, and then I am just out for the rest of the day. I'm already in a bad mood. And I know the reason that we're going to be losing at the half most likely is because of my turnovers. That's the worst part, but we're going to get solid blocking right here, and we just have to keep on driving down the field. If I wait long enough, I know that Brandon White will be open, but he just didn't play the ball because it was a red passing meter, even though there was nobody around him. Why is that in the game? He is still going to make that catch in real life. I am about to lose my mind. Now I really just want to throw it over the defense right here, but I know it would be an instant interception. That is why I didn't, and I instantly rolled out instead. But I'm afraid we're about to get stopped on the goal line, and we did. How we got it back here with 29 seconds left, I couldn't tell you, but I'm not complaining. And to start this third quarter, they're coming out with one of the hardest presses I've ever seen. There's no way that that works. Okay, maybe it does. Brandon White's just fast. He's not as amazing as I make him out to be, but he is still going to be our best receiver, so it makes sense for me to feed it to him a lot of the time, except they just got a one-handed pick somehow there. Did he seriously just grab that out of midair like this and then hold on to it? Like, what? I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. I mean, I had enough time to get that throw off, but it's going to be underthrown, and we're all tied up at 24, but their defense is going to make it very hard to get anything else. I just know how this plays out. It's happened to us so many times already, and I wonder what the flag is. I think it's against Oklahoma. Maybe it was for a late hit. We're going to accept that 100% of the time. They've got to be more careful whenever going after me, and they were getting the sack, which now means we're in a tough spot. I'm glad it took us like 20 seconds to get the ball out there, and my wear and tear damage is going to be atrocious by the end of this game. Our tight end just isn't getting much separation, but he makes the catch still. We really needed that. I cannot stress enough. We're also starting to run the ball a bit better, and that's when our coach decides not to give us another running play. I'm going to have to throw that back shoulder, but my offensive line said, no, you're not getting that ball out in time, and our zig didn't get open. I am so ready to transfer. Get me out of Kentucky. I don't care. I need an offensive line that is better than this. Why are you not playmakering? And I guess we're just going to have to take our 3. Well, it kind of worked. We have a lead in the ball back, so right now we're actually in a decent spot, but I just don't trust that we're going to hold on to our lead. I don't see it happening. We're going to make like a 30-yard grab, and then they're going to rip it out of Brandon White's hands or something. And on 3rd and 10, I don't know what I want to do. I didn't want to get it to him there. I'm going to try to put this on the money to our tight end, but their DBs always catch up to ours, and what on earth should I even do in that situation? Like, I couldn't even get out of the play action animation. Now I'm just hoping that Anthony Brown-Stephens is able to bring this one in, and he does. But man, this has been a stressful one, and they're stopping the run 2 plays in a row. Now I've hit change play, and these are the 3 options that coach gave me. The same 3 plays. So we're going to punt it back to Oklahoma because there's no way we pick this up on 3rd and 16. And the fact that they didn't score is honestly a miracle. We're going to give them another chance still because they haven't used all their timeouts. And they know the run's coming since that's the only option we have to go with. But thankfully, our defense held it down and we ended up winning. I have accepted, though, that I'm definitely throwing more than 10 picks this year if I had 2 in this game. And I'm apparently getting an offer from an AI to check student papers grammar. We've seen improvements at 8.5% to grades on all papers. I don't want a free membership for a commercial. I just don't like these NIL offers. I feel like 25,000 followers isn't going to do anything because we still need another 200,000 to get to the next level, and that's why I declined it. We've clearly impressed some of the voters, though, if we're still sitting at a top 6 spot. And looking around the rest of the conference, we might actually still make the SEC championship. We got through the really tough stretch. I mean, the rest of our games aren't that bad just taking a look at them. And we get to play 0-7 Missouri, which makes me so happy. It is our last home game of the year, though, which might be a problem because playing on the road is always a lot tougher in this game. And I guess that makes sense. It's felt like we've had a lot of matchups at Kroger Field. Sometimes the defensive coverage can get busted on this play right here, so I'm hoping that we can do that with Brandon White. And I think we just did. That is placed right on the money. That 0-7 defense isn't looking too sharp right now. And I'm looking to take advantage of it as much as I can in this video. That comeback route is going to work wonders to Easton Messer. He also cuts up field. So if you all can't already tell, I'm going for my best performance yet. We need something like that to happen, and this might be picked off. What was I doing? It's all good. If this is man-to-man, we're going to have a back shoulder throw right here, and it's not. Okay. Now I'm just going to scramble. I don't even want to try to force it into a window. It might have actually been just not the type of coverage I was looking for on that play. And it's so hard to throw it up to Brandon White whenever they got deep safeties manned up on him. I'm bound to take some sacks, though. That will be the first of many to come in this game. And look at our drag route getting open to Jamarian Wilcox. I know I cut out most of the runs, but I still feel like he rarely gets the ball anymore. Please just go into the end zone. And we're handing this one off. I don't need the touchdown pass. It would have been nice, but right now what is more important to me is that we're winning football games. I feel like there was some PI that went on this play, but the refs aren't going to give it to us there, and we're going to have our hitch route for a nice 8. I'm pretty much just staring down Brandon White, and if he gets open, if he has the speed to run by somebody, it's going straight to him. But my 85 throw power doesn't get it quite far enough. Now Missouri has it back within 7, and they got in pressure pretty quick. I'm going to use her this playmaker, though, just so we could have a nice big gain. And there you have it. That's what we got right there. A back shoulder throw right here is also going to be money, and that placement placement was insane. Now we're running this to the weak side of the field. I did not see this play going for more than like 2 yards, but it did, and we're having a very solid first half. This is almost as good of a first half as we've had since the beginning of the season. There's definitely still plenty of time to make mistakes though, and I'm gonna have to scramble on this 3rd and long, which is gonna get us like 15 yards. But as long as we get at least a field goal, we'd go into the second half with a 2-possession lead, and throwing this on the run is gonna lead to my 3rd touchdown. I took my hands off the controller. I was so confident right there. But I almost don't want the ball back again before the end of the first half because I feel like I'm bound to turn it over if I have a chance to throw the ball more, and it almost happened right there, but Messer came away with 20 instead. This is a historic moment in this road to glory. All it took was us facing off against a team that's 0-7. And we've gotten this play again, the one that we just scored a touchdown on. If we have enough time in the pocket and I run and step up, we could have had more points, but I fumbled instead. I didn't think I was going to run. I was literally holding down circle just waiting for the pass. And why does it feel like this first half is never ending? I'm scared of turning the ball over again. I already had that fumble. I don't want to hurt my chances of being in the Heisman watch. That's honestly my biggest fear right now, but I might have just laid out a dime. And we've got no timeouts, so we're just running up to the line of scrimmage. I am spamming. Come on, let me get this play off. 4, 3, 2, 1. I should have thrown it away. I panicked there at the end even though I got us in a great spot. And I don't know if I should be going for more points in this second half or I should just be happy with the lead we already have, but I'm going to take the freebies whenever they press Brandon White like that. I mean, this might be the only good game that I have the rest of the season just looking at some of the games on our schedule, so we're going to take advantage. And my goal is to do all of that while not throwing any interceptions. That's probably going to be the hardest part. Right now I've got almost 500 passing yards, which seems just absurd. Normally I get to like 250, 300, but that's the type of performance that I'm having at the moment, and we have another touchdown to Brandon White. Look at that break. Kentucky fans better be happy with me now. I have clutched up. And I just realized that I've been using this passing meter I wasn't sure I was a huge fan of throughout the entire day I've been playing so far, and it's working well. I mean, with the playmaker, now that we're lobbing balls, we're going off. And we have 540 passing yards with 6 touchdowns. If you're looking for a passing type to go with, I think placement and accuracy might be it. And let's just keep running up these numbers. I'm going to enjoy the rare times that I have success. I mean, any more passing touchdowns and I will 100% be in the Heisman watch. But they took me out of the game to start the 4th quarter and I'd never see the field again. I didn't even win player of the game. It went to Brandon White and he got into the Heisman Trophy watch. He's actually projected to win it, but his quarterback's not even on there. No player of the week awards or anything. Just the best stat line of my career in a 45-point blowout and no recognition. The good thing is at least our season stats are starting to look a lot better. I mean, we can only throw 3 more picks this year, but that's still manageable, and sacks-wise, we can still take up to 26. Depending on if we make the SEC championship though and how the playoffs go, we might only be halfway through the year. And even though we're playing another bad team, Arkansas at 2-6, this one is on the road. I'm not sure what to expect going into an environment like this. If we're able to make hot routes, we're going to be fine, but we weren't able to on this play. And we might just have to score first, and then once we have some momentum, then we can do it. 2 for 2 is exactly how I envisioned opening this one up, and it's going to be 3 for 3 now as we almost get a first. But it is all out of my control. It's not a run, it's another jet touch pass. I just can't stand whenever we call these. The refs marked it as a 4th and inches, so I've been pulled. And let's see what we can do by the time that we have it back. I'm going to roll out, take our drag route over to Easton Messer for 10, and just hope that Brandon White can cook those 2 DBs over on that side of the field. I mean, I put so much under that ball for him to catch it. And what a beautiful route from the 98 Speedster. Those are the types of plays that we really need at this point in the year. I'm going to roll out and almost take that deep post again. I might have had a touchdown, but I would have had to set my feet and probably stay in the pocket for it, so I'll keep it in mind for the future. I feel like that's something that could get open again, and here in the second quarter with a couple minutes left, it's still 7-0, but I'm throwing it up to Brandon White because they were sending a blitz and it's another touchdown. It's just too easy. Whenever I know they're sending pressure, I'm fine. But what always holds us back is whether or not I have enough time to get the throw off, and I did there, which is going to take us past midfield. That's the difference in playing these schools that are lower overalls. Their defensive line doesn't get pressure as quick, and that makes it actually manageable to go out there and compete. As I'm saying that though, they just generated enough pressure so we wouldn't pick up another touchdown. It was coming. So I'm going to have to lock in to work for this one, and I threw this too late, but it still worked. I swear, he's the only one that always is open. And what is Arkansas even thinking with this coverage? It actually worked really well for them until I used a playmaker to get a huge gain. We're going down inside the red zone. What a performance. And this is going better than the one against Missouri. It was about time that I started to play well. I've been waiting for this moment throughout this entire video. We've even gotten the ball back with 24 seconds left in the first half. I don't know what we're going to do with that. I don't want to throw an interception or anything, but I'm going to be patient, and if we have the bomb over the top of the defense, I'm going to try to take it. You know what? This is worth the risk. If we catch this, my stat line's crazy. Well, we didn't, but it's still going to be 28-7 at the half. I feel comfortable in closing this out. And that band is probably playing a sad song for Arkansas. They've given up too many passing yards. It's just comical at this point, coming out in defenses like this. I mean, I'm going to throw it up if you're pressing. It almost was too far in the air. I didn't lead him far enough. But once these teams don't have fast enough and good enough corners to keep up with him, that's when we're able to cook. This is also the play where if I step up in the pocket, I could throw the deep post. I don't want to fumble here. And I'm actually playing with the Razorbacks defense right now like it's baby food. I'm testing out new things against it, but I might have just thrown an interception. I think I'm just going to try to wrap this one up. I don't think there's any purpose in turning the ball over and giving Arkansas a chance to come back, which is why we've been running it so much, and it even worked for a couple first downs. I should also mix in one of my favorite RPOs, though. It didn't work well here, but normally it does, and now we just have to hang on to the ball on 4th and 4, but we were marked short. Luckily, Arkansas did absolutely nothing with it. We're going to run out the rest of the clock. And if Wilcox doesn't punch it in on this play, I'm going to hurry it up and try to pass for a touchdown. Well, it accidentally went to the 2-minute warning, but we still have the same goal in mind. And I didn't even mean to give it to him there. At the end of the day, we'd win 42-14. But Brandon White's going to get all the recognition, not me. This time around too, my stats were even better. I thought for sure I was going to win player of the game. And how am I not in the Heisman race? I'm the one supplying him with all of these passes. Just for reference, these are my current stats during the year. And these are DJ Lagways, who is at the number 2 spot. I have almost double the amount of touchdowns. Turnovers could play a really big factor though, and we're up to number 2 in the college football playoff poll. But I don't think we're making the SEC championship just looking at our conference standings. It's a shame that we lost the 2 games that we did, because now we have easier opponents, and I've been spending a lot of XP just to get more skill points. We currently have 6, and I could save it up to upgrade my speed and acceleration even more, but elusiveness worked well the last time. And I'm excited to see what it adds when we travel to Mississippi State. That club building in the back is absolutely massive. It takes up the entire back of their end zone. I'm about to throw a pick though. That was close. And I should have known to not set Brandon White up for failure. My inner Peyton Manning came out for a second. This time around, I'm about to throw an interception again. What am I thinking right now? We've had back-to-back easier wins, and now I'm just putting anything out there. I don't even care. I want more stats, good stats. So you know if I see some man-to-man alignment or anything here, I'm going for the end zone shot, and it worked wonders. You know, whenever you start to play well, Road to Glory is a lot more fun. They even got in a blitzer there, but they weren't able to sack me. What a throw. This game mode's awesome now. We've improved ourselves enough to where we can kind of just do whatever we want, and that's another dot. I think it was just the teams that we were playing earlier on in the season. I mean, even Anthony Brown-Stevens is toasting those guys right now. And so we just had a bad roll of the dice around mid-year when we started to struggle, I guess. Right now, I really feel unstoppable, but I'm saying that right before throwing an interception, most likely. And it is unfortunate that that did not work out well for us, but we'll go underneath to get the first down. Well, we're stuck running it here, but Jamarian Wilcox is going to easily pick it up for us while continuing to fight his way into the end zone. This is literally exactly what I needed. We're putting 2 routes out there on the field. You know that one of these routes is going to cook them deep. I'm not sure why it always works, but it did right there, and we're still gonna get the touchdown, I hope. Yes, we are. Before anyone even tries to say it too, let's just go over to settings and make sure you see it's on Heisman. You can't change it in game. So this is me genuinely showing a lot of improvement, or just facing a team that doesn't know what type of defense they're putting out there on the field. I mean, that was almost picked. But if Brandon White broke that press better, we would have had another touchdown. I'm not happy about that sack. It's gonna ruin this drive, and even allow Mississippi State to get back within 14 points, but this cannot be our collapse. Go down and slide. I don't even know what to say about that. I'd rather not say anything at all, actually. That was terrible. We'll just go to the half where we're still up by 14 and we've dominated. But it's also a very real possibility that we're about to blow this 28-point lead. I mean, the home field advantage has come back into play. I can barely make hot routes, and I almost just threw a pick, which sets us up for a 3rd and 1, and the jet touch pass was the best option that they gave us. Look at Brandon White breaking free. Oh my gosh, he is a beast. It is actually mental that they would even consider bringing their safety down into the box after what he's done to them earlier on in this game. Oh, that's off target. But it's all good. We're still going to find a way to get some points on this drive, and I had plenty of time to get the halfback screen out. Now it's 3rd and 3, and even if this is cover 3, we should be able to thread that dot immediately, even leading to a touchdown. I'm starting to think that Mississippi State's just got an unlucky press defense that's default, but they forced a fumble against us, and they scored again, making it 35-28. This game is actually not over. There is no shot that we blow this. That would be the most embarrassing thing everything in the world. That's the RPO that I really like, though. It finally worked. And let's see if they've learned anything coverage-wise about this play. No, they haven't. We're going to have another touchdown. It was underthrown by like 5 yards, though. And we're lucky Brandon White got in, even if he just disappeared with the football. Mississippi State is wasting 0 time responding back, though. So you know exactly what I'm going to go with. No, I can't even take it. They guarded it well. I'm stepping up and we're going to burn some clock. I took it to the 2-minute warning, but the game knows that we're running it 3 times in a row. So they're just going to get the ball back again, and there's nothing I can do unless we somehow pick up the first down, which we're never going to. I mean, if I change the play call here, I should have an option to pass, but I don't, and I think the best thing might just be keeping it on the read option and trying to do it all myself. If Mississippi State ties it up, I'm gonna lose my mind. But they didn't. Our defense came up clutch and we're taking a knee. We somehow almost blew that one, but we got the right result. I won player of the game, and I could be getting a free massage per week. Deshaun Watson would love this offer, but I don't think I'm gonna take the deal. I don't get to relax until I'm in the Heisman race, which I'm still not. And looking at this top 25, no matter how well we finish the rest of the year, if we don't make the conference championship, we're playing a first-round playoff game. We pretty much just have to win at Death Valley and at Louisville if we want to guarantee that matchup's at Kroger Field, because we're not making the conference championship. And we're very fortunate that LSU's 4-6. If they were any better, we might be in a little bit of trouble because we do have to travel to Death Valley. And they're still ranked as the 14th toughest place to play, so we're going to have to be on top of it. If they do give us an opportunity to go deep on them, you know that I'm going to take it. And they might be right here. These are the routes that we look for. Brandon White is going to toast that corner, and he catches it. Unfortunately, a safety still got back to stop him, but we are inside the red zone. And we'll just continue to keep pushing it down the field, but we ran the ball on 3rd down, and why didn't we take the hole? We had an easy running lane to pick up a first. But you know what? It is fine. We would get a turnover against them getting it at midfield. And we have got to hold on to that football right there. I'm going to try to give our guys another chance to catch it. But 2 drops in a row make it 3rd and 10, and with a lot of good blocks, I just threw up a 50-50 ball hoping for the best. It wasn't open, but none of the routes on that play were good. And it might work this time around, depending on what coverage they're in. I think it did, except I underthrew it a tiny bit, which seems to be my biggest issue. I'm about to take a sack as well. And I don't like running 4 verticals against the computer. I always feel like I have to force it into some tight windows. They swatted it down, so we're only kicking another 3. But defensively, this might just be the best that we've ever played. And I want to get a passing touchdown so bad, but our running back just got stuck on the line. So my read on this play got messed up, and I'm pretty sure that I became a left-handed QB for a sack. Well, 3rd and 8. They're probably about to hold us to another field goal. I mean, they're guarding those slants so well, but I will step up and celebrate, or just dive into the end zone. I'll take that too. That must have awakened this LSU offense, though, because they would score their first points after that. And it just stinks that you're always forced to run the ball on 3rd down whenever there's less than 2 minutes in the first half still, but we almost picked it up. Because we didn't get it, though, now LSU has a lead by a point. I've thrown it up to Brandon White, and they're going to deflect it into an interception. Of course, we just turned it over to end this quarter, too. This is actually a disastrous collapse. They now are up 21-13, and I'm going to need a lot of time in the pocket if I want to get this throw out, but I had what I was hoping for, and we catch it. This is honestly a really impressive way to end this first half. We are driving down the field versus the Tigers. And on 1st and goal, I wanted to take that zig route, but instead I'm going to step up and take it in. I saw zone coverage, but to open up the 3rd quarter, you know that they're about to get even more points. And this is a battle right now. We're struggling. I mean, it was kind of expected. Death Valley's a hard place to win at, but they're going to stop us again. And the fact that we've gotten the ball back inside the 40-yard line is just a miracle. I'd also love to get Brandon White out in space with this RPO, as he is going to take it all the way to the 1 or the end zone. They gave him a touchdown. I hope the refs don't review that because it looked very close. But now they're in a booth review. I knew this was coming. They always have to make it difficult for us to just get our easy points. But it helps me because I have another rushing touchdown in this game. And on the 2-point conversion, it's zone coverage. We're taking our drag and we don't hold on. They'd score again after that. So it's like, what do you even want us to do at this point? I'm going for all of the marbles. I'm sending it up to Brandon White. We got a huge touchdown. But in less than a minute, LSU has reached the end zone again. I mean, they are just scoring so many points against us, and I threw that late. Like, I legitimately don't know what to do at this point. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to beat the Tigers. They got us coming out in a Hail Mary formation. That is the play call that coach just gave me, and I just fumbled the ball away. Please pick it up. That was literally it right there. I don't know what we're doing, and I threw that a second too late. We're actually very fortunate that we did make that catch there. We're continuing to move it down the field at least. But we have to stay in hurry up mode if we want to keep having success, and no, he dropped it. That was it. I thought we had our touchdown right there. Now they're biting down on the tight end. And I have to be smart. We can kick a field goal here and still be in this game. It's not going to be enjoyable if we're going to get stopped a bit short. But it is an option, and they took me off the field. Now we just have to hope that we get a stop versus LSU, and it looks looks like we have. So this is it right here. I've been given my opportunity to dot up one final time. Not a great start with the inaccurate pass, but our running back's going to make it third manageable. And as long as I get this ball out in time, we should be fine. I could also step up in the pocket. I might have had Brandon, but I was not willing to take that risk in that situation. I am scared of throwing an interception. That is not what you want out of your starting quarterback here either. You want them to be confident, composed, but it's hard to be when you can't put any hot routes out there on the field, and you just have to hope that these are ones that are able to get open. I'm also letting some time run off of the clock. I don't want LSU to get the ball back with too much, but that was a bad drop right there, and now we are just hoping that we hang on. On 4th and 3, these are our options too, and I don't want to hike this ball. I could take a delay game penalty, making it a 4th and 8, but I feel like maybe I should just trust Jamarian Wilcox. Go on. Pick up the first down. No, coach has lost us another game, and that could be the difference between us making the playoffs and not. Besides that one dumb interception, I feel like I played pretty well. Remember, I had 3 touchdowns on the ground, but LSU just stopped scoring, and why would my team need free soda? If anything, we need to be playing better. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take the deal. I saw the 400,000 followers. I could use it. We shouldn't be consuming that stuff. We need to be drinking straight water after losing LSU, especially because we're down to number 12 in the country. We're so close to missing the playoffs. Just like last season, whether or not we beat Louisville decides if we do, and they're only an 81 overall. So we better make sure we don't lose the Governor's Cup, because I couldn't stand losing to them again. First drive of the day. We're having a lot of trouble getting a hot route out there on the field, but eventually I think Brandon White decided to go on a streak and we would have had him. Now it is a 3rd and 18, and we actually have beat them deep, but it's going to be underthrown. And I'd say we're very fortunate that that worked out for us. We have to be more careful. I still haven't gotten to throw this seam on the RPO, and I didn't do it on this play either. But one day I will get to hit it, and I think we have them beat over the middle. We're off to a solid start. That's all I was hoping for against the Cardinals. And the fact that coach keeps making me hand off the ball is starting to drive me insane. We only have success when we go through the air like we have on this play and hang on to the football. So I'd like to keep things that way, and we're just going with our drag. We have to get some yardage here. It's an important play to start the second quarter, but they just had me handed off to Jamarian Wilcox. So we're lucky that our defense has gotten us the ball back in this position right here. There's not even a home field advantage that's in effect. That's how well we're performing against Louisville. And at the moment, I'm able to hot route and pretty much do everything that I want, which isn't always true whenever you have to play a team on the road. Here on 2nd and 2, I am looking to get into the end zone, so I might step up and scramble to do it myself. And we are off to an insane start versus the Cardinals. Now I might have our tight end late, and I do. I just need this to be underthrown. No defenders getting over to him in time. And he even fell into the end zone there at the end. The only reason I'm not too happy about it is because the Cardinals would score pretty quickly after that, and we can't beat them deep. I have to get it out so quick if we're going to attempt to, and we even had it there. But those mistakes could lead to Louisville getting even more points before the half, except we get the first down. I've not seen Jamarian Wilcox run for more than like 3 yards in weeks, so I needed that. And he's been so bad for us that that might actually be his biggest rush of the entire year. For a while, I didn't mind having him at running back, but recently things have not been good enough for him to still be out there. And we're going to struggle to get into the end zone with this much time left in the half. I'm not liking the play calls coach has given to us, but I know we can at least move the chains here. And with 19 seconds on the clock left, I just got another snap off. I'm going to step up, try to run for a bit, but at the end of the day, I had to burn a timeout. We're not in field goal range yet, and they just sent in a blitz so quickly. I wanted to get it out in time so we would have a chance at it, but instead it's just caused me to throw a pick. He didn't turn around for the ball or anything. It was not worth it. And things are starting to look a little bit rougher. We're now on a 3rd and 14 that we're probably not going to pick up. And the fact that I could even fit that ball into that window is kind of crazy. I did use that playmaker just in case I wanted to still throw it, but it wasn't worth risking another turnover on that play. And if I step up here, I'm going to have somebody with a slant. That is so disappointing. I just couldn't get the ball out of my hands in time. That's my fault. And my offensive line just made things 10 times worse. The only way we can get back and bounce back from this is if this was man-to-man coverage here. Maybe if it's zone. I was about to throw the playmaker, and I just crossed the line of scrimmage a little bit too quick. Now we're trying to bomb the cover 3, but we couldn't, so we're very fortunate that they weren't able to do anything with it. Some of these play calls and routes are giving me just a bunch of problems. They're hard to make a read on, but at the end of the day, it's better than having to hand it off all the time because those rarely go anywhere. Playoff spot on the line. I think my chance of of making the Heisman race is no longer a thing, but I didn't do anything there that would have helped us. We're really just so fortunate that we keep on getting the ball back. And on 2nd and 8, I was hoping the defense would bite, but I had to get that out so quickly. Now we're at the point where coach is going to want us to start winding down the clock, and we're getting a huge gain. So it's fine to stick with Jamarian Wilcox here, but we might have the touchdown. That's the RPO I've been waiting on. What a play that was. This place has gone almost silent. And we have gotten the ball back in the red zone. They must have turned it over, but I also must have read the score wrong because we have 31 points. I don't know when that happened, but I wasn't paying attention for it. There's no way we just ran for a 3rd and 16 as well. But it is safe to say that this one's over, and I'm just going for more touchdowns, except somehow that was picked. Our tight end not turning around to the ball is a big issue, because in this game I threw 2 picks off of it. And why didn't we have the option to just kneel in the first place? I am happy that we won the Governor's Cup, which gives Kentucky their 23rd series win. And I even got player of the game, but those turnovers are really frustrating. Due to them, I know that I'm not going to join Brandon White in the Heisman Trophy watch. The only goal I think I might actually complete is less than 50 sacks, but I tried my best and I still have a 3.8 GPA through all of it. Surely my academic advisor is going to be happy with me. There's still work to do for a few classes before the school year's out though. And they keep offering me this NIL deal, but it's just not worth my energy. I need them to come back offering me some cash or something. I've just been training over and over, trying to get more skill points, and I'm up to 7, but I clearly wasn't a Heisman Trophy winner. I got us into the playoffs, but that's about it. And it seems like Florida lost to Texas A&M in the conference championship. I'm not sure how DJ Lagway won the Heisman, considering Brandon White's above him on the Heisman watch screen. And just throwing this out there, he had over 2,000 receiving yards and 28 receiving touchdowns. I also wasn't just good through the air. I had rushing touchdowns as well. I think I had 7 of them. So it makes no sense for DJ to win with 30 passing touchdowns, but maybe he did something on the ground too, and I guess he did. All that's important now though is we're able to go out and make a run in the playoffs. Since I'm gonna have to give stuff away to a random commenter, I feel like I've probably said copy College Football 25 throughout this video, but because I'm working with Home Field on this, I do want to give away team merch instead. I'll do a sweatshirt and shirt for any team that's on their site, but at least when it comes to spending these 7 skill points, I think the only thing we can go with is elusiveness, and let's see what this gives us. 95 change of direction is gonna go crazy. I might be able to get 1 more skill point though, and I can't. Alright, it's time to go ahead and get into this game. We average a lot more passing yards than Oregon, so maybe we'll have a better offense. It also looks like they are 7 overalls better than us. And if we can't win it all with Kentucky this year, I think I have to enter the transfer portal. I want to win a championship before my career's over. I also want to win the Heisman. And playing this one on the road is going to make things so much more difficult. There's also been a flag on this play. I hope it's not against us. And it wasn't. That's going to be an extra 15 yards. We're driving down the field so far, even though I can't really do any adjustments. And this is the best team that we've played all year, even though we've been taking on SEC opponents, I think. Their overall is the highest for sure. I mean, there's no way anyone else has been a 91, but they're 9-3, so they clearly have some weaknesses that we can exploit. So far, things have looked pretty solid on this drive, but I'm not sure what my play call is on 3rd and 1. I thought it was supposed to be a pass, and I think the home field advantage changed it up. We'd end up missing that field goal, which doesn't help us at all, and I also had an inaccurate ball, but our wide receiver still comes under it, and it's not Brandon White. It was Easton Messer. He had enough speed to get by that DB, but the jet touch passes are back in full force, and they are very hard to watch. On 2nd and 9, we're running a halfback screen that they're all over, so it's on us to move the chains on this 3rd and 9, and I felt like we had them, but that corner got back to it. There's my double-digit interceptions for the season. That ball should not have been placed the way that it was right there. I'm not sure what happened, but with players like that lurking all across the field, it's going to be hard to fit it into windows. I mean, it did work on that play, but I don't think I can be that consistent unless we had them again, and we did. Easton Messer's having his best game of the year, but as long as Oregon keeps on responding back as quick as they are, it might not matter. We need him to continue to go off for more. This is actually crazy. It's nice having multiple targets that I can get the ball to now. We haven't had that for a while. And you've got to be kidding me. They hit us with a holding call. That is home cooking at its finest, but it doesn't matter because Brandon White has been able to get free. I didn't throw an interception on it this time. I got it out a bit quicker. And we still have a minute left in this half with a chance to get even more points, but that was considered a red arrow. I don't know what I did wrong there. I kind of just tapped the button, which is what I'm going to do here again. Those routes are killing them, but they got the pick off it for the 2nd time. It's always that DB that's able to get back to the football somehow. I don't know if I'm seeing things wrong, maybe I am, but I'm past leading him upfield and it just doesn't seem to be enough. Well, I think that means we're going to end this first half at 21-21, and we know that Oregon's not going to stop scoring points. That's what's going to make this matchup against them so difficult. Those 2 turnovers probably could have been avoided though. Jamarian Wilcox fought for a first, and I'm almost scared to try to beat the Oregon defense deep with Brandon White, but he had them there and I just didn't have enough time to set my feet. The fact that the computer tackled me from behind there is also insane because I'm never able to do that. And there's no way that they didn't hit me late again. Those penalties are nice and all, but we're still going to need a way to get more points. And we have a long way to go if we're going to do that on this drive. 3rd and 10. This might be one of the biggest moments of the game, and they read it like a book. They read me like a book. There was one spot I was going. We were punting the ball, whether I threw it, whether I took a sack, whatever, so I was not concerned about it there, but I think we had them there, and of course it's a red meter and we still catch it. Okay. 0 complaints from me. Brandon White's made it 28 all. We are back in this one. And now that the threat of giving stuff away is no longer on the table, I know that I'm going to do it. I'm just sending it everywhere. I don't care if I throw 5 interceptions a game. If we win it all, that's what matters. And here in the 4th quarter, we have a 7-point lead that we need to hang on to, but those routes keep on toasting them. If only Brandon White was in the game for that is all that I can really say there. And how did they pick that? Nah, the computer's actually cheating sometimes. I have never seen a defensive tackle that agile in my life. And this is making my 10 interceptions throughout the year look so much better. I don't even know if I can say what we're doing right now is crumbling because I feel like so many things just haven't gone our way in this game that normally would. And there's a decent chance that we're still going to win this. It's 35 all. Now our running back just not turning around for the ball there really hurts, but we could be fine. I'm going to take this bubble and that's going to allow us to take it to the 40. I think I should be patient with this drive so we just take the game-winning field goal. That would be ideal. And we could even run this clock all the way down to the 2-minute warning, but we had to get the first. That didn't happen, which makes me very nervous. I almost want to just take it here because the look we had was good and that was right. Okay, keep on fighting too. We should honestly just be settling right now. I don't think I have enough control to do that. But the only play call options that I'm getting are the runs, so I'm going to have to burn a timeout. I need coach to give me some better options than this because Oregon's probably going to take a timeout, hold us to 3, and then win this entire game. I can't make it happen on my own. Wow, our 3rd down play call is a run after they burned one of their timeouts. And what do I even do here? We're literally just handing them the win unless we just picked up a 1st down, but we're short, I'm pretty sure. This is actually ridiculous. Coach is costing us the game, and the fact that we stopped them is so lucky. I'll take it because we are moving on to the next round against Texas A&M, but so many different things happen in that matchup, and if they occur again against the Aggies, we're not winning. They've already beaten us once, but I do feel comfortable in saying with these stats that I'm the best quarterback in the country, and the number of interceptions wasn't even that bad compared to some of the other leaders. I also have a lot of open NIL slots with 444,000 followers where I'm not getting any good deals, so I told you that one wasn't worth filling up, and we're just going to make sure I'm fully recovered, I guess. Just like the last time we played, this is the game of the week, and if Liberty loses to our rivals Florida, we would play them for a spot in the championship, but we have to get there first, and if I'm remembering right, we lost to Texas A&M in overtime because our receiver didn't turn around to catch the ball. I've been gifted a treat with this first play, though. Normally the defense doesn't seem to know how to guard it, and they did. I honestly thought we had a free touchdown right off the rip. That would have been incredible, but instead we have to still work for it. And at some point, Brandon White is going to toast them deep like he did right here. I put that ball right on the money, and there's no way that they're catching him. Our defense even held them to just a field goal, which I very much appreciate. And it's too bad that I'm going to have like 0 time in the pocket in this matchup. I got to get it out quick. Here on 3rd and 9, I'm not going to hit our tight end. I'm waiting for that route to come open over the middle of the field, but it's going to be dropped. And I might have been able to just scramble for the first. It's not going to matter that I didn't, though, because we have gotten the ball back, and look at that. Brandon White's gotten by him again. The fact that that wasn't a touchdown, though, is actually going to make me go insane. We should have them here. And I got to stop hoping for the best. Texas A&M's actually guarding a lot of these routes a lot better than I thought they would, but that was a dot. There's very few times where you can fit it into multiple dudes on this game and they're not going to intercept it. But we did on the last play, and that's the end of the first quarter. Now they're coming out trying to stop us with man-to-man coverage. That isn't going to work. We have them beat. Our defense would also get beat for a touchdown, though, so I think you can see what type of game this is going to be. Very high scoring, not like the last one at all. And that's probably because we've both improved a lot since the last one, but I deserve to get intercepted. We're very fortunate that it's 3rd and 10. I don't think we're going to be able to pick it up, though. We're just going to drop it. And all of a sudden, we're trailing 17-14, but Brandon White got the jump off of that route, and he is going to be gone to the crib. I simply don't have the patience to just be patient and work it down the field all the time. I have to take these deep shots, and when they work, that is going to make me so thrilled. Brandon White gone again. He is single-handedly carrying Kentucky right now. And the fact that neither of us won the Heisman is actually insane. I mean, we've carried this offense throughout the entire year. That defender's dancing on us, though, and what he doesn't realize is the refs are about to hit him with a penalty. It was pass interference. So good job there. I'm sure coach is going to be absolutely thrilled with you, and I got to stop my trash talk now. They actually just read me like a book. And the fact that we're getting this ball back with a lead still is a miracle in itself. I don't even want to go for more points before the half. I'll just take the sack. And going into the half, Brandon White's stats are incredible. He's on pace pace for 500 receiving yards. I doubt he makes it happen, but if we could have audibled there, we would have had a touchdown. And they've come out not as aggressive on this play. They were pressing more on the last one, but I'm just hoping our tight end makes the aggressive catch. They're doing the right thing, putting safety help over the top. Now I'm just hoping that my speed's quick enough here, but I fumbled the football away. And it's like I can't even hang on to it to run for one play. It is what it is though. They'd only get a field goal, so at the moment, we're actually still winning this game 28-27. But I just don't feel comfortable with a 1-point lead versus the Aggies. I feel like we're in trouble. At some point, they're going to get a sack, and then it's going to be very hard for us to get points on this drive. I'm scrambling for the first though, and my hope is that they're running cover 2 so we can have Brandon White deep, but they forced another fumble. Are they like magnetically taking the ball out of my hands or something? I mean, this is ridiculous. And all of a sudden, we're losing 35-28, just like that. We were winning. I've gotten used to blowing leads in Road to Glory though. It seems to happen almost all the time now. And I'm saying this right now, there's like 0 chance that I stay at Kentucky after this season. I need a championship before I go on to the NFL. Our receivers are literally getting clamped. And I'm almost 99% sure that Brandon White will be gone because he's a senior, but what is that? I passed led to the right. And this game might actually be keeping me in it right now because I currently feel like we don't deserve to be. We have a minute 16 to work it down the field with 0 timeouts, and that's a little worrying. But I appreciate just having a chance with the way that we've played in this matchup, and that's got to be a first. All right, now the question is, how are we going to get a big gain versus them? And I think I'm going to have to throw this ball away unless I'm able to scramble for a lot. And that is 100% on me right there. I was trying to do it myself. I might just have made the throw of the century though, until it was dropped. They've even sent in a blitz, giving us a chance for Brandon White to run under that football, and that's what he's going to do. We are going to have a chance with 30 seconds left to send it to OT. I know I've made some mistakes, but we're in it. And they got 7 points on their first drive. We cannot lose to Texas A&M in overtime again. I threw the comeback route though, and he never turned around. My heart's dropped. We're leaving Kentucky a loser. He ran it so deep. He was supposed to turn around by then. And you have to throw it before they do, or else you're not going to time it right. That collapse with turnovers in those last 2 games was insane. But those defenses just ruined my life. And even though the stats did improve in my junior year, there's still more work to do. We clearly still have a fumbling issue, even if the rushing touchdown totals did go up. And yeah, Brandon White's a senior, so we have no reason to stay at Kentucky. I have unfinished business still. I don't want to leave for the NFL. I need to enter the transfer portal for one more episode. And just looking at some of these huge programs not wanting us at a 91 overall is kind of shocking. I think we're going to have to go to a 4-star prestige program, and there's still some really good options in here. The only thing I know I have to keep in mind is the fact that we need an air raid attack. I don't want to be running the ball like I would have at Penn State, or else I would have gone there. So let me know down in the comments where you want to see me. And also leave a Twitter handle or an Instagram handle just so I have a way to contact a random commenter for winning the giveaway. But thank you boys for all the support on this episode. Sorry for ending up disappointing you all in the end with the turnovers. And I promise we're going to make sure my senior year is special.